Hi, I'm Brian Rose.
I'm Michael Mcpherson.
Welcome to the Lion's Den.
Mate, good episode today. We kind of got one from last week, one from next week. We've got Charlie Schofield coming on. Going to chat to him, English champion, on a massive show this weekend on the Brook show. So I'd be really interested to get his thoughts, see how he's dealing with all that pressure and, the big spectacle, the big stage. And then we've got John Ryder coming on, who of course had his great win last weekend against Daniel Jacobs, arguably the biggest win of his career. So now there's a few days past. It'd be good to chat to him and see how he feels about it all. You could say a little bit of a controversial decision. I think he kind of won the second half of the fight, lost the first half, but we can talk about that with him. So we'll get his take on everything. It's going to be a really interesting one.
Yeah, and I thought he just nicked it. Like I say, it was an interesting fight. Could have gone either way. I still think it could have gone either way, but I do, not just because he's on the podcast, I do think he nicked it by a round or two, whereas the Felix Cash fight was a little bit different. But yeah, interesting fights this weekend. Like Charlie Schofield, he's part of the Phoenix camp. We obviously helped Jack Massey get the sponsorship, so we've got the Brook American, obviously. I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely, it's going to be great, and we'll talk a little bit about Felix Cash in a bit. I know you could do nothing but sing his praises. You're a big fan, and I like Felix Cash, but we'll have to analyse that performance on the weekend, and we'll probably have different opinions on it. But should we get Charlie on first? See how he's feeling?
Yeah, definitely. Come on,
let's do it. Let's get Charlie on. Charlie, how's it going, mate?
You okay, mate? Cheers for having me on.
Welcome to the Lion's Den.
I know, yeah, I'm making my debut on here, aren't I?
Yeah, he's got to get that bit in. It doesn't feel as real now. We're usually in the last season, we're in the boxing ring, and it was like the proper Lion's Den. Now it's like we're on Zoom, and the Lion's Den things feel a bit anticlimactical, but you still got to say it, mate. It's like your trademark.
It's not quite the same side in my kitchen.
on the same. So, mate, we've got to start obviously with a fight this week. How are you feeling ahead of it?
I'm feeling great. Yeah, my training camp couldn't have gone any better, and I'm super looking forward to it now. All the hard work's done. I just want to get that. I just want to get that last bit done now, and I feel like I'm itching to get in there.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, Brian will probably know this too. Do you get at this stage now? Is it more excitement or is it more nerves? I bet you the last few days must feel like you just want it to happen. The last few days almost like feels like months.
Exactly that. Yeah, I just want to get in there now. I'm ready. Physically and mentally. I just want to get it done. Brian, you'll know yourself. It's constantly on your mind, isn't it? You're visualizing it every day.
Yeah.
You know what? Now, when there's not really that much training to do, it's just all in your mind, isn't it? You just want to get it done.
Yeah, you visualize it and then dream about it, and also, but it never works out the way that you think in your head. So sometimes you overthink it for no reason. But I don't feel the nerves until the day of the fight, and I think that's a good thing because I'm not using any energy through the week, worrying, and it is what it is. But I just get nervous about 5 minutes before I'm going in, or as I get to the venue, sort of thing. But in the week, I've got no nerves, so I'm quite lucky like that.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much the same, to be honest. I feel like I'm pretty calm. I'm really chilled. When it's kind of like when you see the venue yourself, then I start feeling it there. Then but it's not like a nervous thing. It's more like, I suppose it is nerves, obviously, but I use them to my advantage. Whereas, like, I get excited, I get that adrenaline, and I just want to get it done. Then.
Do you feel different this time because you're on? It's a massive occasion for you. There's going to be loads of people there. So is that affected you in any way, or are you just going with the flow sort of thing?
Yeah, no, I'm just going with the flow again, I suppose, because every fight for me, it's like it's always meant more because I'm climbing that ladder a little bit more. So it feels, that the pressure's just, not really pressure, but like it's just great. It's been gradual. From my first fight, I felt like I remember saying to myself before, with Bobby Brimmer walking in the ring, and I just remember saying to myself, if I just want to win this one fight, that's all I'm bothered about. I just want to win this one fight. I could lose the next one. I'm not bothered. I just want to win this next one. And then, that pressure that I put on my own mind there, just that one task, and the next minute's your second fight and your third fight. It just keeps building, I suppose.
That's the best thing to do, set yourself little goals. I was Central Area champion, I went to English champion, and I never thought for 1 minute I'd fight for a world title. But when I was English champion, I was thinking, right, I might be able to win a British. And then next thing, I defended it 3 times. Then I was knocking out world champions. I was thinking, wow, this is unbelievable. I just little goals is the best way to get some place. If you dream, if you look too far ahead, it's very hard to succeed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think it's great to have that dream in it, to have that end goal, which would be like pinnacle. That'd be brilliant. But boxing's one of them sports where you have to just take it step by step, don't you? Because anything can happen. So yeah, I'm not looking past this next fight.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I know we touched on how many people are going to be there in the occasion, and you're an established fighter now, English champion and stuff. But does the 20,000 people there and the being on a huge anticipated undercard of Khan Brook, does it make it more exciting to you? Is it the same task? Does the occasion affect your fight? Do you look at it with any more importance than you would do a fight that's in front of 4,000 people, then it's in front of 20,000 people? Or is it the same job for you?
I think, it's one of them ways that it's the same importance again, because I always want to put everything into every fight. I want to make sure I win it. But I think I'm going to thrive off this crowd. I really do. In my own town of Manchester, I feel like I'm going to buzz off it. And I think it's just going to help me that little bit more. I think it's going to lift me even more. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, definitely. If you can't get up for that, then you're struggling, aren't you? What an occasion! What a build to fight on. And huge opportunity for you, Charlie, like to be noticed. And people know who you are, but really burst onto the scene. I think fighting on a card like this is your chance to shine and make people know who you are.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel so lucky to have this opportunity. Because in Manchester on a card like this, Sky Sports box office. When I found out about it, I was just like, 100% sign me up. I couldn't believe it.
But tell me a bit about that, Charlie. Then it's something we don't, talk about that much on this podcast, but the business side of it. Tell me about how you get an opportunity like that, how it comes about. Is it the opponent first? Is it the date first? Your manager comes to you and says, "We've got this great opportunity." Tell me about the process.
Well, I won the English back in June last year, and then when I won that one, we were just kind of waiting a little bit. Where's it going to go? My plan was to have a takeover fight, which I did do in September time, and then we were just waiting then. And there was potential that there might have been a fight. This fight was going to happen in November, but it never happened. I don't think they could get it over the line in time. They didn't know what show it was going to go on, so that was kind of forgotten about. And then I just kept training anyway. And then around Christmas time, I was chatting with Kevin Marie, my manager, and he was saying, look, something could come up here after Christmas, just keep fit and whatnot. So I did do. But then I'm out with my family and a few of my friends, and I've got a pint there in front of me. Christmas time, and I thought, right, I'm having a good session here now tonight. I'm going to enjoy this. And as the pint was poured, I've just put it down in front of me. I got a text message followed by a phone call, and the text message landed off Kevin, and I thought, and it just said, Feb 19th, English title defence against Jermaine Brown, ? And I just thought, whoa, I just put my pint down there before it even sits it. And next minute, a phone call comes straight away. So I answered that. I was like, right, sign me up. And that was it. Then the pint went down. I was like, right, forget it. I've just got to knuckle down here now and crack on training. I was pissed off.
I'm no grass, but I'm on that Phoenix Camp group with you. And when that come about, they were all like, "Don't lie, Charlie. You was pissed out your head." So I don't know if he was pissed out your head or you only had just one pint.
I know what you would have done, Brian. You'd have went, "I'll tell you what I'll do, just one more big night out. I'll have about 8 pints tonight and I'll start 100%. Tomorrow."
If it was a Friday, I would have drank Saturday and Sunday and then started Monday. That's what I would have done.
You mentioned the opponent there, Jermaine Brown, obviously unbeaten. What are you thinking about him? Brian said something before, which I think is so true. On this stage, a kind of really decisive win, it could jump you up 5 levels. You talked about growing, just stepping up the levels every time gradually. This is almost like a fast track card, because you go out there, you knock him out, you win on points decisively. This is people really taking note. What is the opponent like? What have you got in your head about him?
Yeah, he's a good opponent. Someone asked me about this before, and I've got the same answer, really. I mean, whenever titles are on the line, it's always a worthy opponent. It's always going to be a tough fight. But I think that's what I need as well. I think that's what brings the best out of me. So he's coming to win, obviously. He wants that title. And I think that's going to work to my advantage. I'm going to box long, and hopefully, I'm going to showcase my skills and what I'm about to a massive audience where, again, hopefully they want to see more of me, and it can, like you said before, it's my chance. I'm in the public eye, so I'm hoping, hopefully I can show what I'm about, get that win, and it'll, catapult me onto bigger things.
Definitely. We spoke about bigger things later on the podcast tonight. We've got John Ryder on who topped the bill on a big show last weekend. Can you see yourself reaching those goals? Is that what you spoke before about? You never thought too far ahead, but now you are an English champion. Are you now looking to those big fights and headlining bills and looking that far ahead?
Oh, if I can achieve what he's achieved, I'd be over the moon with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm buzzing right now to be fighting on the ABN. I never thought I'd be the English champion. The fact I won that title, I was buzzing with that. So, boxing, it's a sport. You've got to take it step by step. But if I can achieve what he's done, then 100% I'd be buzzing with that.
Well, you got every opportunity, mate, and especially with the people behind you. And we've got to say, you're training down at the Phoenix camp with Robert, and you've got Jack Massey there and Billy Dennis and all this kind of young camp coming through. What's it like training down there? Robert looks like he's got a great little group there.
Yeah, it's quality. It's a good laugh. We all have a good laugh, but we also know when it's time to buckle down and work hard, and that's what we all do. And we've all been very lucky in recent wear. Well, I say lucky. You kind of create your own luck, don't you? We all work hard and we keep getting good results, and we're all just thriving off each other. We're all bouncing off each other. We're all getting wins, and it's success breeds success, and that's what's happening right now in that gym.
Yeah, definitely.
At least none of them take the piss.
What's that, Brian?
At least none of them take the piss.
It's a joke, honestly. In that gym, Brian, you know what it's about.
Mate,
if you turn up and you're wearing a pair of shorts that don't match your shoes, for example, that's it. You are getting it big time. It's a joke.
Oh God,
Rob must be in trouble all the time then. Hey, we're hoping to be there on the weekend. Best of luck for that fight. And best of luck for what goes after that. I'm sure you'll get it done. Just lastly, I've got to ask you, Brook, it's a huge spectacle. Will you be hanging around to watch that one, and how do you think it's going to go?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll be hanging around for that one. It's one that we've all wanted to see for years, isn't it? I keep changing my mind with it. I really don't know. I mean, the way I can see it going is I can kind of see Khan being up on the scorecards, fast feet, fast hands, boxing, moving really well. But I can see Kell Brook just working him down slowly, and I think he'll catch him. And I think when he does catch him, I think that's it. I think it's game over. So I could see a Kell Brook stoppage probably after the 8th.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to pretend that we know what we're talking about, but that's pretty much exactly what me and Brian and Kel said last week on the podcast. So You're in good company.
We just copied you, Charlie. We just waited. Yeah. We'll go with that.
Charlie, thanks for coming on, mate. And I hope you'll come back on again after you win this fight. And when you're going on for an even bigger fight, I hope you'll come back on and chat to us again. You're a good talker. You're a good lad. And I think you've got a great career ahead of you.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for having me on, lads. I really appreciate it.
Good luck, Charlie. And just
thank you, Brian.
Take this week as you're doing. Just try to keep your nerves in and not get too ahead of yourself. And, mate, you'll smash it. I know you'll win. So all the best, mate.
Thank you, mate. Cheers, lads. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure, Charlie. Good luck, mate.
Cheers, lads. Thank you.
It was nice to have Charlie on. Seems like a really good lad. You obviously know him better than me, but he speaks really well, seems really level-headed, and he's going to have a fantastic opportunity this weekend, as we said to him. You're a guy who went through the levels, English champion, British champion, area champion, all the way up to world title challenger, and he talk about taking it slowly and taking the steps gradually. But he's got a chance this weekend to really, really propel himself up the ladder because of the stage, because of the audience. If you haven't got the audience, you really can't make the big money in boxing, can't get a big fight. So it's going to be a great weekend for him, and it's really interesting.
I mean, yeah, looking back at my own career, it's very similar. I won the Central area before the English, but I mean, I think it was about my 12th, 13th fight. It was for the Central area title. It was my first title, and it was a massive card. It was Jamie Moore versus Ryan Rhodes, and I fought on the undercard. And I remember I was in the changing rooms, and I could hear that fight going on. And it was an unbelievable fight. I've actually watched it back since, and it was such a good fight. And I could hear the crowd, and I thought, oh my God, I've never experienced anything like this in my life. And I went out, kept my calm, and did the job, and I just hope Charlie can do the same. I believe he can. The pressure gets to a lot of these fighters. I can't name names, but I've seen people recently, as soon as they step up and fight for a big title or fight a big name in a big arena, they seem to, almost bottle it. And I don't think that's in Charlie. And I hope it's not. I'm pretty sure he's going to thrive on the occasion and come through it in the 50-50 fight. He's not been in a 50-50 fight yet. So there's a lot of pressure on him, but I'm sure he'll come through it.
Mate, I'll answer the honest question. I know it's early in his career and we're not trying to boost him up too much, but if you had to give your honest assessment on where he ends up and how far he can go in his career, what's his level? What's his peak level?
Well, as a friend, I'll take it step by step like he is, and I'm probably sitting on the fence a little bit here. But, going off what I thought I could achieve, I knew I was capable of going and fighting for a world title. I thought I'd win a world title, but no one else did. So people around him will probably say, yeah, he's probably British level at best. That's what people are going to say. But so taking it step by step, he'll win a British title. I believe he can win a British title. And then you never know. He's at a heavyweight class where there's not many people in that weight, and that's not being disrespectful. So he's got a massive chance of fighting for a world title or going and winning a world title. And maybe I'm thinking with my heart a little bit because he's my friend. And, I really do hope he goes on and fights for a world title. But he'll win a British title. I really believe that. Yeah,
well, if he does that, it'll be a great career. And I'll be interested to see how he carries on. I'm sure we'll both watch very eagerly on it. But good luck to him on Saturday night. It's a great opportunity. And before we bring John Ryder on, there's just something I want to talk about with you quickly, because I know we've kind of got mixed opinions on this. I know you're a huge fan of Felix Cash. You think he's a real deal. You think he's going to go on and become a world champion and kind of boss the division and stuff. I think Felix Cash is a good fighter. I think he's a tough lad. He's got a lot of skill about him. I'm not sure he's going to go on and be quite as good as you say. But we looked at his fight the other night. After that fight, do you still have that same opinion on him? I know it's going back almost what we discussed with Charlie. The Russian lad comes over a little bit unknown, unbeaten, tough lad, probably a lot better than people expected. He was no walkover, so he still won the fight for me. But is he still that world champion prospect?
Yeah. To be honest, I still do think he'll go and win a world title. I know you think different, but when you text the other night saying, I don't think he will on this, I was actually behind and I'd not had the fight on. So I turned it on, I was like, shit, maybe Michael's right. But one thing I can't do is judge someone on one bad performance. His performances before that night were unbelievable leading up to it. So to judge him on one bad night, which, we've all had bad nights. And sometimes, he's on the verge of fighting for a world title. He's on the verge of it. So for me, these opponents in the middle of it, it's hard to get up for. He's an unknown Russian. Not many people knew who he was. That must be a hard fight to get up for. And he'd been a bit inactive. So for me, I can't judge him off that. It wasn't the best performance. I actually thought he got beat. But, he scraped through it and he got through it, which is, he was on the deck a couple of times as well. So he's shown what he's about. I still believe he'll go on and win a world title personally.
Listen, he showed real heart, and I actually think he done enough to win the fight, even with the 2 knockdowns. I think he dominated the fight outside of that, but he showed he had heart, showed he had character, and I'll be interested to see if he does go on and reach that potential that you say he has. I hope he does, but I think we're still a little bit, we've still got different opinions on this one. But let's get John Ryder on because he's waiting for us. John Ryder, how's it going, pal?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
No, thanks for coming.
All right, mate.
I'm good. I was going from Instagram and I found a blast from the past. I don't know if you're about to see it. But,
let's have a look.
This was the, I think it was Froch Groves weigh-in. What year was that? I think it was both a bit. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Both a bit younger.
Yeah, you know what? It's so weird that because you're fighting for a world title next. You won your final eliminator. That was I'd beat Maciel for the final eliminator. I was fighting for a world title a couple of weeks later. I was heading to New York, and that's why I was in London. I think.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
Man, it's mad. The time flies by, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Gone full circle. I like the old backwards hat there, Brian. Another great fashion decision of yours.
Hey, John, did I ask you for a picture? Or did you ask me for a picture?
I asked you.
Yes.
John, we got to ask you a bit about the weekend, obviously. The dust has settled now. A few days have gone past. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. I mean, a lot riding on that fight for me. I mean, as I said to Brian, I was meant to come on earlier this week, but I've just had a weird few days. I was in bed all day Tuesday, bit back to normal yesterday, but I've no positive COVID results. I think it's just an emotional and maybe just a physical dump on the body, I suppose.
Yeah.
Been living clean for however many knows how many weeks. Brian, you probably knows yourself. We've had the fight, everything's done. Bit of crap food, bit of binge eating. I think my body's just gone wrong to it and just rejected everything and just I've gone in the right state for a few days, but I feel better now. So I feel like I can string a sentence together now.
You know what I find after a fight, John? Like there's a massive come down. So you go from here, and everyone's patting you on the back, and everyone's like giving you big. But then after a few days, like it stops, and so you go on like a bit of a come down, and people don't see you never level. You either here or here, and that's what I found so difficult.
Yeah, that's what my missus was just saying. She said, like, I've been looking so forward to it. You're so up here, then it happens, and it's like, well, what now? And it's like, yeah. So
and it's not an anticlimax. It's amazing what's happened, but it's just such a downward spiral afterwards.
No, it is, mate. Yeah, you're at the top of the mountain, and then you're at the bottom of it again, and it's like, what next?
Yeah. The old climb Everest, then it's got to climb it again feeling, isn't it? You get there, and you're like, well, this is it now. I have to go again.
The trip down might be a bit more fun on Everest, but I suppose that's the dangerous part starts, doesn't it?
That's it.
John, you know what I loved the other day? You know when? Sorry, Michael. You know the other day when I said to you, can you come on the podcast? You said, I'll have to come on a bit later because I'm taking my daughter dancing still. And I thought, you know what? It's amazing that, I do the same. It's like back to school on Monday, me. You know, when I've had a fight, back to school, and it was just amazing how you just got back into family life.
Mate, do you know what? I wish I was on a school on Monday morning. They've had half term this week, so the week I just wanted a chilled week. They've been here, so it's been a bit of a nightmare. But it's been nice to have them around, and obviously I was away so much in camp and stuff. It's been nice just to reconnect as such.
Got to go back to the fight on the weekend. I watched it, loved it. I thought just the spectacle of being there, Ali Pally being a North London lad and all that, and the crowd was absolutely brilliant. I thought it was a fight at two halves, being given an absolutely brutally honest assessment. I felt like
so I got an extra guest joining there.
Go on.
My little boy snuck in.
Oh
Wait,
God!
You gonna come say hello? Nah. Is he? Yeah.
Brody, come here.
Come and look.
Quickly.
You know what's happened there, John? He just found out what the fee was and left, didn't he?
That's it. If it was Paw Patrol or anything else, he'd be up for chatting. But we don't want to know now.
I'll go back to the fight. So saying Tower two halves for me. First half, I thought Jacobs got the better of it. Second half yourself could have went either way. I know you were answered straight after, but now with a little bit of time to reflect, I think the mindset that you must have had in that moment. I know you said that it wasn't really conscious that you felt like you were losing the early rounds, but the way you turned it on in the second half of that fight, took control, started working the body, outworking him, and really done enough to get the win. Was there something in you that clicked there? Was you aware of the urgency at all? Was it generally just stepping up the levels naturally?
No, I think the whole emphasis on the fight and the game plan with Tony Simplers, we don't know what he's got left. We don't know how he's going to come out, and if he's gonna put anything into this fight, it's gonna be in the first six to try and really put a dent in me. So Tony just said early rounds, just try and stay with him, just tie him up a bit. But he was one doing majority of the tying up, so the working side was a bit slow. But the score, I've not watched it back yet myself. I'm just trying to enjoy the moment a bit. But I do need to watch it back, obviously, and just assess the situation. But the rounds that he was winning, I don't think he was winning big. I think there was nip and tuck rounds where I don't think you could really go that. Oh, that was a huge round for Danny Jacobs. Whereas the rounds that I then won and won in the second half of the fight were big rounds. I think 7 and 8 and 9 and were huge rounds. And I think the 3 of the last 4 that I won, I think I'd give them the 12th round. But I think I won the rounds big and I won them well. And then the first 6, I mean, some people have had the first round level, some people have just edged it to me, some people edged it to him, but I think it was just subjective scoring the first 6, what you like, and if you're favouring the busier work or the cleaner work, whatever. But listen, I don't think the screams of robbery are a bit strong. I think the scorecards were mixed as it was from all 3 judges, and I think all 3 judges agreed that I won massively 7, 8, and 9, and kicked on in the second half. So I don't think that the cries of a robbery are too justified.
I definitely wouldn't give them any coverage at all, mate. I think it was a really, really good fight that, you might have a case for one person either way. But I think, like you said, I think you absolutely got it spot on. I think the early rounds, you could have a case of giving them to him just because that little bit extra work. But then when you stepped it up and you won those 7, 8, 9s, it was really decisive. At one point, it looked like you proper rocked him and you could stop him, and you were never in that position yourself. So for me, that's why I'd go that you nicked it. But cries of robbery. I mean, I haven't heard too many of those, but I wouldn't give them any attention, mate.
Well, I've seen some like he won the first 6 rounds and you won the last 6 rounds. I said, and I think you won the last 6 rounds convincing, but then first 6 rounds you were nip and tuck. So like you say, it's whatever work that you like. So I had you by 2 or 3 rounds, and that's quite convincing for me. And I said that to Michael before you come on. I said, not just because he's on the podcast, I actually think he won the fight.
He did say that, rounds, to be fair.
Whereas Cash on the other hand was a little bit different,
Yeah, I mean, I've yet to watch that back as well. But, I mean, at the end of a fight, if you've won, if you've lost. And there was no point at the end of that fight when I felt like I'd lost. So, listen, I think in my eyes, the decision was right. And I felt like a winner at the final bell. And, listen, I think his reaction, he wasn't jumping around the ring like he thought he'd won.
No, he wasn't.
And when it's announced, he jumped straight out. So if he thought he was unfairly judged, I'm sure he would have hung around and voiced his opinion.
Yeah, I think that was a very telltale sign. Actually, you got it spot on again. Where at the end, when the decision went your way, there was no big cries of outrage from him. I see it with Brian. I don't want to bring up bad news for Brian, but when he went and fought Martinez last year, and there was a genuine feeling around the arena and around our team that he'd won the fight. And when the decision went Martinez's way, there was gulps and gasps, and even Martinez looked like he'd stole something. But whereas with Jacobs, he kind of just accepted it, walked away. I think he knew, it was a very close fight, and if anything, it was going your way.
Yeah, and I think, listen, I mean, he had the home side of the card. I know it was in Alexandra Palace, obviously my hometown, but listen, he was the home fighter on the card. He had the second ring walk, so. Listen, all those kind of things were stacked in his favour for this fight. He was the A side, so listen, I mean, not that it makes it any better, but I feel like I rightly got a decision.
Yeah, definitely. I've got actually going to get you. You're going to get your world title shot now, and I know I heard you speak after. You were saying about, is that the best Daniel Jacobs? I think it was a very strong Daniel Jacobs. I just think it was a very, very strong John Ryder. But at 33 years old and all the fights you've had, would you say that was the best you on Saturday night? Is the best of your career still in front of you? Are you still able to improve performances?
I believe so. I believe with a bit more momentum behind my career. I think we'll see the best of me in 2019 when I fought Callum Smith.
I was just about to say that was your best performance for me. When you fought Callum Smith, that was your best performance, in my opinion. I thought you was superb.
Yeah, I just think like activity as well. I think I'd come off a good final eliminator against Sorotkin in the November, a good win out in Vegas in the May, and then to fight Callum in November again. Good momentum, big fights, good camps for them, great sparring, great opportunities in them. And then obviously after the Callum Smith fight, a big gap of inactivity, 2 fights in 2 years. So, I mean, the start of 2022 to get out so early was fantastic, but I wasn't going into this fight with great momentum, and neither was Danny Jacobs. But I think now, really, just crack on, get back into camp shortly, and just hopefully get another fight date soon and just start building that again.
Yeah, definitely. I think momentum is everything. You need it with fights. So you need sort of a good run to get to your best. You can't keep coming in and out of the ring or going away from it or dropping in and out of that mindset. But if you were to get a good run in an ideal world now, you're going to, in the next 12 months, you're going to fight 3 times. Who would be your 3 dream opponents?
Well, listen, I don't know what's next. I don't think it'll be a straight world title shot. I'm sure it'll probably be a final eliminator. So anyone in the top of the WBA division. I don't know who's ranked above me at the moment. But anyone like the Chudinovs, the Morels, whatever's there to be had, I'm happy to take. I've worked too hard in this sport to duck anyone now. So listen, whoever they say to fight for a final eliminator, I'll do it. And then all roads lead to whether Canelo's got the title or it's a vacant title, then I'm happy either way.
Yeah, well, that'd be a credible fight. But I'm going to put you on the spot. John Ryder, does he become a world champion now at this stage of his career?
Yes, he does.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Do you agree, Brian? You got to say yes. I do.
You've got to say yes. Yeah, of course I do. You know what? I think you're one of the most improved boxers in Great Britain, and that's the truth. I mean, you've had some tough defeats yourself, and you know, that decision on Saturday night could have gone either way. But how many times have you been in that position yourself where you haven't had the decision? You know, so you deserve a rub of the green. You know what I mean? So I do think you'll be a world champion. I think you're improving all the time.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, totally agree, John. Totally agree.
Before we go, can we have your predictions on the Kell Brook Amir Khan fight Saturday?
Yes, mate. Well, you know what? It's a hard one. Obviously, I'm a fan of both. Obviously, Khan was the country's sweetheart for a while, wasn't he? Obviously, when he went to the Olympics many moons ago now. But listen, Khan's the best 6-round fighter this country's ever produced. I mean, put him in a fight with anyone for 6 rounds and he's beaten anyone in the world. He's beaten Canelo. But after that, he just seems to fade and blow a gasket and it all falls apart for him. So, I mean, I would heavily favour Kell to stop him anywhere after the 6 rounds. Round 7 or 8, I think, is Kell Brook's fight.
Yeah, that's well. I think we've all pretty much said the same thing. Everyone we've had on, everyone we spoke to about it has all said exactly the same thing. So one thing I will say in Amir Khan's defence is he's got a perfect opportunity to prove everyone wrong here. But I think we both agree with you that Kell Brook late rounds is the way it's going to go. Yeah,
I mean, listen, early doors, you never know if Khan's still got his hand speed, he can make it hard work for Kell. But things I've seen of Khan, it doesn't look like he's got that blistering hand speed anymore. And I'm sure Kell's still going to have his punch.
Yeah, definitely. John, thanks for coming on, mate. I massively, massively appreciate that. And we'll have to get you back soon and talk more about your career because it's been a great one. You're a hard man. That's what I always think of when I think of you, a tough fighter who's been in some great fights. And, you know, what a win on Saturday night. And I really hope, like we just said, it goes on and becomes a world champion from here because you deserve it, pal.
No, definitely. Anytime. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well done Saturday, mate. And thanks for coming on so soon. I appreciate it.
Cheers, Brian. Thank you, mate.
Cheers,
see you later, mate.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That was a great chat, weren't it? It was good, that.
Yeah, he's a good lad. You know, I was just saying to you there, wasn't I? I didn't say this to him on when he was on, but with John Ryder, I always just envisions a really hard man, a tough guy. He's like a sort of Rocky Balboa character, a little sort of tough, powerful southpaw. I've always enjoyed watching him fight, and I hope he does go on and become a world champion. You know, it's probably his biggest win on the weekend, so he's got an opportunity there, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, his career reminds me so much like mine. The ups and downs, you know, the close losses that he's had, and then he's come through it all and won his final eliminator, and then hopefully get a world title next. It was similar to mine, so he deserves to win a world title. He's worked hard, family man. So yeah.
He's a bit more rugged than you, mate. He's a bit more rugged and a bit tougher, and you're a bit more silky and a bit more fancy, aren't you?
What you're saying is I'm better looking.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe 10 years ago, but it was your birthday the other day, wasn't it? You're getting a bit old now.
37.
37 years young, pal. 37 years young. Yeah, we as I say, great to have John on, and we'll watch his next moves with great interest. But we keep talking about it. We spoke about it when we had Kell on last week. We've been talking about it all week on the Khan Brook fight. It's just massive. You can't get away from it. We've actually got some really good people do some predictions exclusively for the Lions Den group and podcast. So if you look on our Instagram page at Lions Den Group, you'll be able to find those. Some good sort of sports people there giving their take on it.
The typical boxers, even Michael. We've got a couple of footballers thrown in. We might even have a few others.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, some interesting people. It's just a fight. It's a fight that everyone's talking about, isn't it? What I love about this fight is there's no titles at stake. They are past their best. There's no next moves after this being talked about. It's two blokes who don't like each other having a tear up to settle a score. And I think that is why people are so interested. And the opinion seems to be from me, from you, from everyone we spoke to that, Khan's still got a bit of hand speed about him and he'll win some early rounds and then Kell will cover the distance, find a way and stop him late on. But as I've been watching Amir Khan this week, I've always been a bit critical of Amir Khan. He's never been my, it's not a personal statement. This is coming from a boxing fan. He's never been my favorite fighter. I've always been a big fan of Kell. So yes, I took some abuse from people saying I was brown-nosing Kell a bit because I like him and stuff. But I'm going to give Amir Khan some credit here. As I've watched him come back over to the UK and I've watched him talk about the fight and I've watched him train, I am taking him more seriously than I was a few weeks ago. I do think he's looking sharp. I do think he looks like he's got the right mindset for it. And I'm edging more towards this being a close 50-50 fight.
The thing with Khan, he's always going to look sharp. He's always going to look fast. And like John Ryder just said, he's the best 6-round fighter we've ever seen. It's just whether you can get past them 6 rounds with him. So if you get past them 6 rounds, that's your time to go to work. There's no doubt I rate Khan. I think he's a great fighter. But there's something about him that I don't like. Where Kell Brook is my mate.
Yeah,
and I really think he'll do the job on the night. I do, and yeah. I might be made to look a fool, but it won't be the first time.
No, mate, that is true. That is. I hope so. I can't lie. If I get stick for it, fine. I hope Kell wins. I like Kell, but I'm expecting a fantastic fight, and I think it's going to be one of the best fights we've seen for a long time. So I'm sure next week we'll be chatting about the result, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, brilliant. Can't wait. And thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, pleasure, guys. And we will speak to you next week. Keep looking out for Instagram for those predictions.